Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the most awaited video in which I'm going to discuss about how to fill out IRC application form. Being an IRC scholar, I'll walk you through how to fill that application form, but I highly recommend before filling out or before watching this video, I highly recommend to watch the previous two videos which I have created in the context of IRC scholarship, so that you have all the required information in your head, which you should know before filling out this form. Going further, and before discussing about this application form, I'll let you know that the first 5 questions of this form are related to the information that you should know. Again, I'll tell you should know before filling out that this application form, and I have discussed these questions in my previous videos, but I'll discuss it in this video as well very quickly. So let's begin. First of all, they are telling you that your submission should be via online system. It has provided the link over here, and in my previous video I already walked you through how their online system how it works and how you will be required to submit your application through online system. But they have already provided the full application form in the form of Word document, which is on my screen right now, and I again recommend you to fill that form before submitting your application through online system. Double check your application with your supervisor, and when you become confident that your application is fully finalized, then go to online system and just copy paste the answers which you have already filled in this application. Okay, now secondly, they have discussed about the eligibility quiz, which I have already discussed, that this quiz is very important before filling out the form, and it will tell you whether you are eligible for this funding or not. It is again, this quiz is available online. Question 1 is they have asked about your first class or upper second-hand honors bachelor's degree. You have to tick the required field here. Then they have asked about your master's degree. Then in question 2, they are asking about your 2 previous unsuccessful application for IRC program. So it is very important question, because if you had previous 2 unsuccessful application, you are not eligible to apply for this IRC funding with the same application and the same domain you have applied previously, but you can apply in a different domain with the different application. So it is very important to know that. Question 3, do you hold or have a previous IRC scholarship? So you can tick if you had any previous IRC scholarship, whether it is master's or PhD. Again, just to clarify, if you have a previous master's IRC scholarship, you can apply for the PhD scholarship. However, if you have a previous master's, you cannot apply for a new master's IRC. Same with the PhD. Now the question 4 is, again, that is mentions in the eligibility criteria of my video, so I highly recommend to walk through those videos. Question 4, they have asked about any prohibited areas, because these are the areas if you wanted to work on, IRC will not support these areas, so you might get ineligible for this funding. So if you are not working in these areas, just click no. Okay, question 5 is, has a primary supervisor based in an eligible Irish higher education institution? Again, this is as I already told you in the beginning of my video, that first 5 questions are solely these questions define whether you are eligible for the scholarship or not. And if you wanted to know about these questions, just see the previous eligibility video I have already made for your ease. Okay, so now They are telling you, please note that your application will be deemed ineligible if no academic supervisor name is included in eligibility quiz. Before going for eligibility quiz, it is very important to contact a supervisor, and when he or she agrees to supervise you in this funding, then you are only able to proceed with this application and for the eligibility quiz. So it is important, if you did not provide any supervisor in your quiz, you deemed ineligible for this application. So contacting your supervisor beforehand is very important. Okay, let's begin with the application form. So I have write down different text for your ease of understanding. So they have asked about your project title. Your title goes here. The research body, so the institution you are going to apply for, whether it is University of Galway, University of Dublin, Limerick, Cork. Most of the university supports IRC funding, because this funding is eligible for most of the university all over Ireland. So give your institution name here, the name of the school or department. Okay, now the next question is whether you are going to fill this application form in Irish or English. So if you said yes over here, and while filling on the application on online system, when you take yes over here, they will provide you a button there to upload your this application in English format as well. So it is up to you to fill it in Irish or English, whatever suits you. Okay, this ORCID identifier is very important. They have asked you to give the identifier over here, and you can get that only after making an ORCID account. So it is important to make it, and they have provided the link over here. Go to this link and you can create your account on ORCID. Okay, then they have asked about your nationality, the county from where you belongs to, whether from Republic of Ireland or Northern Ireland. You have to mention the county over here. Okay, then they have asked you about again your nationality, about European Union and the member states. Mention here, you have to tick accordingly. And will you have been ordinarily resident in EU member states, including the states over here, for the continuous period of 3 of the 5 years preceding 1st of October 2025. This means that because the scholarship is going to be start from next year, it is important to mention that you are residing in the following states for the continuous of preceding 3 years. Okay, so now this section belongs to your supervisor. In my previous video, I have already discussed this section, that when you fill up the online form and you type in your supervisor name, your supervisor name should come up if he or she is affiliated with the proper institution and the research body. If that is not the case and you cannot see your supervisor name, ask your research department or your supervisor to affiliate him or herself to the research body, so that you can see the name of your supervisor there. It is discussed in detail in my previous video. So these are the supervisor's detail you have to fill in, and if you have any secondary supervisor, fill that in as well, and if you don't, just leave that. Okay, now they are asking about your background. So they have asked about the bachelor degree, so you have to provide your institution name, the date when you graduated, your degree name. Degree name means that what type of bachelor degree you have, like for instance, is it in computer science, is it in chemical engineering or mechanical engineering, whatever the degree name will be, you have to write down the name over here. Okay, now it is completed, tick yes, and then they have asked about your grade. So you have to write down your average grade, whether it is A, B, C, or if you have a grading system of a GPA system, so you have to write down cumulative GPA over here. Okay, further going down. Okay, so this is an important question to answer, and for your ease, I have created the proper headings. So in my experience, this question in which they have asked about your bachelor degree, what you have done during your degree, rather than answering this question in the form of a paragraph, it is important to break down in the form of heading so that the reviewer committee body will understand what you have done. And it is always a good idea to break down your work in the form of headings. But before walk you through, it is also important to know that you have only the maximum word limit of 300 words. So just very precise as well as descriptive while writing down about your degree information. So write down your project title, overview what that project was, then the objectives. It is very important to write down the objectives of your project. So you can write down in the form of objective 1, 2, 3, whatever the objective will be, but describe that objective in one line. Don't just rely on the headings. Then it is very important to write down the methodology. So most of the research is based on research and analysis, design and development, what novelty of your research is from the other work already done work, and testing and evaluation, and final thing is the documentation in the form of thesis or publication. So I have you might have a different headings, but just for your ease I have created these headings because most of the research lies under these headings. So you can change that methodology, but again it is important to describe every heading in one line, and just keep 300 in your mind. Do not exceed that, because while filling this form in an online system, that online system will detect that you are exceeded the words. So this might go negatively in the application. And finally, the outcome. So outcome of the research is also very important, whether it is in the form of any publication, or whether it is in the form of any, you can say, online portal. So if whatever the outcome is, give the link. If you have created any portal that is live, so give the link of that. And if your paper has been published, write the name of the paper as well as the conference title and the year of the conference. Here comes if you have any other bachelor degree. These questions are same for the bachelor degree again, so I'll skip that section. Now comes the master degree, and this degree is again all the question related to those. This master degree is the same as I have described in bachelor degree. So you have to tell whether it is a taught or research master, your institution name, graduation date, degree title, if it is completed or not, and the final grade. And again, they have asked about any additional information related to this degree, or your final grade can be included here, including whether a transfer from this master degree or PhD program is considered. So if whatever your scenario will be, just write it down over here. Again, they have asked about the second master degree. So if you have any other master degree, write it down over here. And about the degree, I did not include in this question, but this question is addressed in the second master degree over here. Just like the bachelor degree, you have to provide project title. It's a very brief description in the form of overview, its objectives as discussed earlier, its methodology and outcomes, as well as for master degree, because in bachelor degree sometimes it is not very important to discuss the novelty, because you are doing a very small type of project thesis. So everybody knows that, so novelty doesn't matter. But if you have done any master's degree, it is very important to describe the novelty of your work over here. What is the key discovery during your research master's thesis, and if it has any kind of outcome, just describe it in the form of the research paper, and outcome in the form of any portal you have designed or developed. So it will give a very positive impact to the reviewers, that you have walked them through what you have done in your master's and what you have done in your bachelor's, and as well as the outcome of your degree. Okay, now here they have asked you about other information relevant to your academic background. So whatever relevant information do you have in terms of any project design and development, it's not only related to your degree, but also your work experience. So if in your experience you have designed any project, so describe your project design, development, or deployment. I have break down again this question into subheadings, so for your ease, so you have an idea what you should cover in this question. So write down the projects and their descriptions, what you have done, and if that projects are live, also provide the live link so that your project could be authenticated. If you have taken any courses, write down the courses here and their descriptions. If you have presented your work, again you can write down over here, and workshop and seminars you have attended. So it is very important to understand this question because they have asked about your academic background. So write all of these write answer of this question according to the question asked, like in terms of academic background. Now they have asked about any additional information regarding your research achievements to date. Yani ki, research achievements means like if you have any publications or if you have any award, again presentations, if you have created any data set. So give the links and describe them in a very brief but descriptive way to have an idea that you have a research background. So it could be public broadcast, it could be stage performances, creative writing, whatever it is. Describe your achievements over here. Now they have asked about the work experience, so you have to provide work experience. This answer is also breakdown in headings and subheadings. So you define your current work experience, like what you are currently doing, but it is important to write down the institution with the proper URL. I am emphasizing on the URL because they can click on that URL and then go to the particular URL. So you can create a URL in this Word document, but not online. So what I recommend you to is to write the institution name here, and then in other like brackets you can write down www dot institution, whatever the institution .com like that. So just again keep that in mind that you have only the limit of 300 words, so write accordingly. Describe your experience, your responsibilities, your nature of work. Okay, important part of this question is they have asked you about the voluntarily work you have done. So if you have any experience regarding that, just mention over here because it will surely add up to your application. Okay, now they have asked about your personal statement, and this question is breakdown into 5 different questions. So what I have done, I have again created a different headings and subheadings to cover all of these questions, because it is very important to answer each single question they have asked, not miss out anything. So why do you wish to pursue a higher degree by research? You have to answer this question very wisely. What are your objective and what you will achieve? while pursuing this higher degree, whether it is master's or PhD. The next is, why have you proposed this research topic? So you have to answer this in a proposed topic under proposed topic heading, that why this research is proposed by you, and I recommend you to create a link between your bachelor's or master's degree with the proposed topic, because it will add up to your application. Okay, why do you feel there is a specific demand for the skill set that you wish to build? So you should answer this question in a way that you can explain that you have a sound knowledge of the proposed domain. You have a sound knowledge of the domain you are going to work in, both in academia as well as industry. So you should be very specific related to skill set demand in both academia and industry. Why are you particularly suited for this research field? So you should tell about the suitability of your degree, and here you have to present yourself, why you are suited for this research but not others. So link your experience, your degrees along with the proposed topic, so that it will create the impression that you are the one suited for this research field. Okay, which of your attributes demonstrate your capabilities to be a good researcher? For example, motivation, commitment, trust of knowledge. So you have to write capability as a good researcher. Again, under this answering this question, link your previous research experience and what motivates you regarding this proposed topic or domain, and your commitments, whether it is in the form of meeting the deadlines in your previous experience. Describe it very briefly, but in a descriptive way to convey your message. Again, the answer of this question have only 500 words, so you have the limit here to answer all of these 5 questions. Okay, create career training and development plan. So please, again, this question has 4 sub-questions, and I have again divided this question into headings and subheadings. So what are your career goals and how would this scholarship help you to achieve them? So you have to explain your goals, whether it is in terms of after completing that degree you are going to work in academia or in industry, what type of career goals you have, what you can where you place yourself after the end of this degree, and what this scholarship will facilitate you in achieving those goals. So describe this under the heading of career goals and scholarship utility. How you will go about acquiring the expert knowledge and how will you go about acquiring the expert knowledge and transferable skill necessary for your professional development? For example, technical skill, communication. Okay, so you have to describe your skill acquisition and professional development during this research. So I have break it down into different subheadings for your ease. So what you can discuss under this heading, under this question. So you can explain about the technical skill, communication skills, and all the skills mentioned over here, and in a very precise way, but descriptive enough to understand and convey the message you are conveying. So again, this is for your ease. How would this scholarship enable you to gain skill relevant to employment outside the traditional academic sector? It is a very important question. So you have to describe about if you wanted to pursue your career in an industry, how this scholarship will work. So you have to describe this under relevance of skill to non-academic employment, so under this heading. Last question is, how can the scholarship transform your existing skill in those identified as being required to pursue the chosen career? So you have to describe about the scholarship impact on skill transformation. So you can describe what skills you have right now and how you will sharpen those skills or gain any new skills during pursuing this scholarship. For instance, I can give you an example. If you during this research, ongoing research you are going to pursue, you are going to work on machine learning algorithms, and you do not have any previous experience to that. You can add up that while doing this, while pursuing this degree, I'll be capable to develop this particular skill related to machine learning. So this is how you can convey your message. So it is very important while answering this question that you should be very well aware of the proposed research topic, and at least some of its stages you are going to work on during your research, either master's or PhD, and it will facilitate you to answer these questions accordingly. Now comes the proposed research. So they are asking you whether you will be a new entrant or you are already a student. So new entrant means that you are planning to start your degree from 1st September 2025. And if this is not the case, but you are already a student and seeking for this funding, just click no. Please specify the scholarship type of which you are applying for. So again, it is very important that you should know, cross-check it with your supervisor. So 12-month research master degree program means 1 year. For the master's degree, 24-month means 2 years. 36 months of doctoral degree is 3 years. And 48 months is the 4-year program. Please specify the degree type which you intend to complete. 24-month structured research master, like 2 years, or 36-month doctoral research degree, or 48 months, like 36 month is a 3 year, 48 month is 4 years. So you have to take accordingly. What date did you first register for the degree? You have to mention your registration date here. Okay, now please note, if the date of the first registration that you have provided falls outside the eligible window, indicate in the call document for the degree type you are pursuing. You must provide detail of the eligible career break in the box below, so that an adjustment to your eligibility may be considered by the Irish Research Council. So again, this question I have already discussed in my previous video, that if you were on career break, so you have to mention that and you have to provide the required document. So just watch that video and you can have an idea what they're asking for over here. Again, this question is again for the career break, what type of break you have availed. And going further down, so this question is important because if you are a new entrant, like you are planning to apply for the funding and start your degree from next year, no need to answer this question. However, if you're applying for the funding and you are already a research master or PhD student, you should have to specify your progress to date. So what you have done till now, so over here I would suggest that if you are in first year or second year of your PhD or masters, just specify because you have a clear picture of your research question. So specify the research question, answer the research question if you have achieved something, mention the publications you have already done during this to date. So this will give the reviewer the idea that that what is your progress and how successfully you have completed your 1 year, 2 year or 3 year of your PhD or any degree you are pursuing. If no, please provide detail of your current source. So if the answer of all above is no, you have to answer this question and this question. So this question is related to the current funding. So who is your funding provider? You have to tell that. Or whether you are pursuing your degree privately, you are fulfilling all the expenses yourself. So you have to mention the funding detail over here. Will you be in receipt of any additional award or research? Academic salary during the scholarship period, for example, scholarship positions, bursaries, travel grant, etc. So you have to tick that accordingly. Again, visit your supervisor for such kind of questions. Please provide further detail including the value. So if the question of this answer is yes, you have to provide the value of your details or the positions or additional awards you are in receipt of. Have you previously submitted a proposal to IRC scheme and been unsuccessful? Answer accordingly. And if yes, did it contain all part of the present proposal? So if the answer of the above question is yes, you have to mention that the current proposal you are proposing for this funding, did it contain all of the part which you have already proposed previously, and your application became unsuccessful. So mention that. If yes, please clearly describe the modification of your research proposal since it was previously submitted. So if you have previously submitted and you have any research modification, you have to mention it over here. Do you currently hold or have you previously held any Irish IRC awards? Mention it here. If yes, provide detail. And again, the previous IRC award, if you have been attained, so you have to mention all this: the primary area, discipline, research area. Okay, here comes the most important question on which your application is based, and that is that you have to write down about your proposed research. And here they have asked you to write down the abstract of your research in 300 words. Be very precise again, as well as descriptive, to write down the research in a manner so that the reviewer committee can understand what you are trying to achieve during this degree. Again, one suggestion for you is that not always the reviewer committee is from your domain to understand fully what you are trying to convey. So it is very important to write down the abstract and the proposal material in a way, like you can describe it in a way of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, with the proper linkage of stage 2 with the stage 1 and stage 3 with the stage 2, so that the reviewer, if they did not belong to your domain, can that you have a sound knowledge of your proposed research as well as the domain you are going to work in. Okay, now they have asked about again the aims and objectives, research questions, how the existing literature on the topic has been used to inform the proposal, and how the project will advance state of the art and make a contribution to the existing knowledge. Again, I have created this created the headings and subheadings for your ease. So they have asked about the aims. Define your aim. Just be sure that you have already defined the abstract over here. So aims are not abstract, so be sure about that. So it is important to describe what you are trying to achieve from this proposed research. Then define your objective in the form of research objective, like I have created a subheadings, and describe it in one line of your objective. Okay, so you have to define the research questions over here. These questions could be 1 2 3 4 5 or 1 2 3 or 1 2, but I recommend to define your objectives and research question at least 4, because if you are going for the 4 years PhD, so it is good idea to create 4 research questions for every year. So but for the research question, it is very important to be precise rather than create a question in a broader picture. Like for instance, this could be a question that how technology will impact on the education system. So it is a very broader question, because technology is a big term, umbrella term, as well as education. If you took the education, it is also an umbrella term. What kind of education you are looking for. So you can precise this question, like how AI, like you can narrow down the technology in the form of AI, how AI will impact the secondary education or primary education. You narrow down the education in terms of primary or secondary. So just be precise about the research question rather than form these questions in a broader picture. Just be precise. Then here comes the literature review. You have to write down what previous work have been done in this domain you are going to work in. And lastly, the state of the art. It is very important because they have asked here about the state of the art. State of the art means novelty, like what you have defined in the literature review. It will differentiate in the state of the art that how your work is novel from the literature review you have already discussed above. So you have to discuss the novelty in the state of the art. Okay, now please please detail the research design and methodology to be employed in carrying out your scholarship, which should be described in sufficient detail to demonstrate your thorough understanding of research topics. So you have to define your methodology over here. Again, I have created few subheadings because most of the methodology during your research composed of these headings. You can change that headings according to your proposed topic. So definitely you are going through the literature review, then you will be experimenting something, then you will design and development, evaluation, analysis, and then communication and dissemination in terms of your publications and thesis. So you can change these headings. I have just created these headings for your ease to write it down thoroughly. Okay, again, for research methodology, I recommend to create a figure that will convey your methodology visually, because most of the time it is very hard to read. So if you have convey your methodology visually, it will have an impact of your application. So over here I have just created a raw figure for your understanding, that it can comprise of data collection, which will be gone through cleaning, then feature extraction, model training, and whatever your phases belongs to. So divide your phases of methodology and create a picture of that, figure of that, which will visually communicate your methodology for the ease of reviewer. Okay, keep that in mind that it has 500 words. Okay, now they have asked about what milestones and deliverables for completion of the proposed research, risk that might endanger researching these deliverables, and contingency plans. So it has again 3 questions. So milestones and deliverables, I will recommend to create a research plan in terms of chart, which will visually again tell what milestones you are going to achieve and when it will be achieved as well. You have to create a timeline of it, like I have created a 36-month timeline over here for your ease. It is a very simple and basic chart. You can change it by putting some milestones inside here, and this is how you can not only write it down but visually convey the message of your milestone and deliverables. Okay, They have asked about the risk and contingency plan, so you have to write down if any of the risks are related to your proposed research. For instance, if you are working in the domain of chemical engineering, so you should be going to use some kind of chemicals in your experimentation. So these chemicals might have a risk of in terms of harming you or harming any other person in the lab. So you have to mention the risk over here and what is the contingency plan in your head regarding that risk. So I have given a simple example. I have given you a simple example, but it is totally related to your field you are applying for. You have to mention the risk and the contingency plan. Okay, now they have asked to describe any specialist knowledge or data required to undertake your proposed research, such as language competency, technical skills, or use of specialist software. If this knowledge or data is not already in place, details should be provided as to how it will be acquired over the course of scholarship. So it is very important to discuss it over here. If it is required, discuss it here. If not, explain your previous experience that will add to the current research. So it is important to describe this over here, and if it is not required, you should explain your previous experience that will add to the current research. So I have highlighted it in red for your ease. So describe the tools you are going to use, the data sets you are going to use, and whatever the softwares, describe it under the tools and technology heading you are going to use to give an impression that you know what tools are required during your research, what data sets are required during your research. Now here they have asked about the dissemination of knowledge exchange. So list down the conferences and journals you are aiming to publish your research. I have break it down again. List down some national conferences, international conferences, journal publication, and also you have to discuss about how to impact or how the impact of your research will be measured. So you have to define the short-term outcome and impact and long-term outcome and impact. For short-term outcome and impact, you can discuss about how your research will impact your institution and the students who are going to pursue either PhD or masters in the same domain in which you are working on. And for the long-term outcome and impact, you have to give a broader overview in terms of not only one institution but multiple institutions, or in industry, how it will impact. So you have to discuss. It is a good idea to not only discuss the short-term outcome but also the long-term outcomes. Okay, now please outline your reason of choosing your proposed academic supervisor. So this question has also the sub 3 question can support the acquisition and method of knowledge, and how he or she can provide any facilities and infrastructures or other support relevant to completing the proposed project, how can provide appropriate and comprehensive training programs. So you have to answer these questions. So I have just created a very small a paragraph for your ease that you have to write down about your supervisor. So supervisor name, and then you have to tell about his or her expertise, mention the areas of specialization, then explain his or her impressive track record. Again, now you have to describe that how this topic, his or her expertise in the specific domain is directly aligned with your research and in your PhD journey. Additionally, mention your supervisor research and collaboration, and then lastly discuss that how you are confident that his or her mentorship will lead you to refine your skills and produce the impactful work. So it has also 400 words of limit, so write it down accordingly. Now they have asked about, please provide detail of any proposed trips or more than 4-week duration which you believe will necessary for successful completion of your scholarship you have to provide. If you have any, discuss this with your supervisor. If you do not have any, just write it's not applicable. Okay, going further, these are the questions who are only applies for the applicant to the NDU Gender Postgraduate Scholarship. So if you are not applying for this scholarship, particularly scholarship, just leave this question empty. Okay, now they have asked about does your research proposal involve any of the following ethical issues of special relevance? So you have to tick accordingly, and if it does not contain any, just write tick none of the above. Does your research proposal require approval by relevant institution ethical committee? Tick accordingly. Please provide a statement detailing the careful consideration you have given to the ethical implications. So this question is again related to this question, and if you have already ticked none of the above, there is no need to answer these two questions. Now it is related to sex and gender dissemination. Does your proposed research involve any of the following? Just you have to tick accordingly. Please provide a statement detailing whether there is a potential sex gender domination to be considered in carrying out your research. So if it is related to any of the above you have ticked out, you have to provide detail over here. Provide the data management plan which address the following, and they have asked the 4 questions according to data management, and I have write it down that this question need to be answered under the supervision or guidance of your supervisor. So ask your supervisor related to your data management plan, and he or she will guide you. Okay, now here comes these are the last steps: the declaration, and then the information that you have supplied is correct. You have to agree to that, and then you have to declare that the application is entirely your own work, and understand that it will be subject to plagiarism check. It is very important. It is very important to know that your application will go through plagiarism check, and you should be sure that it is only your work and you are not copying someone else's work. So if your application got caught in the plagiarism, it will be not only get rejected, but you will not be able to apply for IRCS scholarship any further. Okay, that's it from today. I hope you liked the video. If you have any kind of questions or queries in your head, just don't hesitate to comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for further research related information.